Deep within the earth, Gaia, the primordial goddess of earth, felt a stirring. It was a sensation unlike any she had felt before, a powerful and unsettling movement that seemed to come from the very core of the planet. She had mated with Tartarus, the abyss itself, and their union had produced something monstrous. This was no ordinary offspring, it was a being born of the deepest darkness and the most ancient earth. Typhon, a creature of unimaginable power, was born. His form was shadowy and immense, his features a terrifying blend of beast and nightmare. His birth shook the cosmos. The very fabric of reality seemed to tremble as Typhon emerged, a new force that would challenge the order of the universe. The very air crackled with energy, lightning bolts flashed across the sky, heralding the arrival of this new and fearsome entity. The other children of Gaia, the Titans, looked upon their new brother with a mixture of awe and fear. They had never seen anything like him, and his presence filled them with a sense of foreboding. Typhon was not like the Titans. He stood apart, his monstrous form a stark contrast to their more familiar shapes. He was something altogether more primal, more terrifying. His very existence seemed to tap into the most ancient and chaotic forces of the universe. He was the embodiment of all that was wild and untamed in the universe. The chaotic elements of nature seemed to converge within him, making him a living storm. His power was raw, chaotic, and utterly destructive. It was as if the very essence of chaos had taken form in his being. Even the gods, still reveling in their victory over the Titans, felt a tremor of fear at the thought of this new threat. They had thought their struggles were over, but Typhon's arrival signaled a new and terrifying challenge. The earth trembled with each step Typhon took. His massive footsteps caused the ground to shake violently, as if the planet itself was reacting to his presence. His voice was a hurricane, his breath a raging inferno. When he spoke, it was as if the very elements were unleashed, and his breath could scorch the earth. He was the storm-given form, a force of nature unleashed upon the world. His presence was like a natural disaster, unstoppable and devastating. Gaia, seeking revenge against the Olympian gods for their imprisonment of the Titans, looked upon her monstrous son with pride. She saw in him the perfect instrument to exact her vengeance. Typhon would be her instrument of vengeance, the weapon with which she would cast down the usurpers and reclaim her dominion over the cosmos. With Typhon by her side, Gaia believed that the balance of power in the universe would shift once more. To gaze upon Typhon was to behold a nightmare made flesh. His form was a grotesque parody of both man and beast, a monstrous fusion of power and savagery. Towering above even the tallest mountains, his body was humanoid in its upper half, but where a man's legs should have been, there coiled a writhing mass of serpentine tails. 100 dragon heads sprouted from his shoulders, each one capable of spewing fire and venom. His eyes blazed with infernal fire, reflecting the chaos that raged within his soul. His voice, when he deigned to use it, was a cacophony of roars, hisses, and shrieks, the very sound of the earth splitting asunder. His power was as immense as his form was terrifying. With a flick of his serpentine tails he could level mountains. His 100 heads breathed fire that could melt the strongest metals. He could summon storms that blotted out the sun and shook the heavens. He was a force of nature given terrifying sentience, a being of pure destruction given form and purpose. Word of Typhon's existence reached Mount Olympus, the home of the gods, and a chill settled over the Olympian court. Zeus, the king of the gods, known for his thunderbolts and his unwavering authority, felt a flicker of unease. The other gods, even the mighty Ares, god of war, and Athena, goddess of wisdom and battle strategy, were openly afraid. Never before had they faced an enemy like this. The Titans, powerful though they were, had been beings of order, their power bound by ancient laws. Typhon was different. He was chaos incarnate, a being of raw, untamed power. His very existence threatened to unravel the fabric of reality. Zeus, however, refused to show fear. He was the king of the gods, the protector of cosmic order, and he would not be cowed by this monstrous upstart. He rallied his fellow Olympians, reminding them of their duty, their power, and their shared bond. He would face Typhon, and he would defeat him. The fate of Olympus, the fate of the cosmos itself, depended on it. Section 4. The First Clash of the Titans. The battle between Zeus and Typhon was a clash for the ages, a struggle that shook the very foundations of the world. It was not just a physical confrontation but a cosmic event that reverberated through the heavens and the earth. The earth buckled and cracked beneath their feet as if the very planet was protesting the violence of their encounter. The seas boiled and churned, waves rising like mountains only to crash down with the force of 1,000 storms. The sky itself seemed to split open as the two titans unleashed their full might, each strike of lightning illuminating the ferocity of their battle. Typhon, with his 100 roaring heads and his mountain-shattering strength, initially had the upper hand. His presence was a living nightmare, a force of nature that defied comprehension. He hurled molten rock and fire at Zeus, his serpentine tail smashing through temples and uprooting forests. The landscape was transformed into a hellish battlefield. Zeus, wielding his thunderbolts with deadly accuracy, fought back with the fury of a storm. Each bolt he threw was a testament to his divine power and unyielding will. The other gods joined the fray, their divine powers dwarfed by the sheer scale of the conflict. They fought valiantly, but the enormity of Typhon's strength was overwhelming. Ares, god of war, fought with savage fury, but even his strength was no match for Typhon's monstrous power. His war cries echoed through the chaos, a testament to his relentless spirit. Athena, goddess of wisdom, devised cunning strategies, but Typhon's chaotic nature made him unpredictable, impossible to pin down. Her intellect was tested to its limits. The battle raged for days, neither side gaining a decisive advantage. The world watched in awe and terror as the titanic struggle continued unabated. But as the fight wore on, Zeus began to tire. His once boundless energy was being sapped by the relentless onslaught. Typhon's stamina seemed limitless, fueled by the primal chaos that raged within him. He was a force that seemed inexhaustible, a living embodiment of destruction. For the first time in his immortal life, Zeus felt a flicker of doubt. The weight of the battle and the stakes at hand pressed heavily on his mind. Could he truly defeat this monster? The question lingered, a shadow over his resolve, as the fate of the world hung in the balance. Section 5. Flight to Egypt. The tide of the battle turned when Typhon unleashed his most fearsome attack. With a roar that split the heavens, he trapped Zeus in a net woven from 100 shadows. The king of the gods, his movements ensnared, was helpless as Typhon loomed over him, his 100 heads hissing and spitting venom. The other gods, witnessing their king's fall, panicked. They had never known defeat, never experienced such fear. Their courage faltered, and they fled, seeking refuge in the distant land of Egypt. There, they would find a different kind of power, a different kind of magic, that would help them in their hour of need. Typhon, sensing victory, laughed, a sound that echoed through the shattered landscape like the breaking of the world. He had defeated the king of the gods, scattered the Olympians like chaff before the wind. He was the master of the cosmos now, free to remake it in his own image, a world of chaos, fire, and eternal darkness. Section 6. The Return of Zeus. In the annals of mythology, few tales are as riveting as the resurgence of the king of the gods. In Egypt, the gods, disguised in animal forms to escape Typhon's wrath, found refuge and a renewed sense of purpose. The land of the Nile, with its ancient pyramids and enigmatic hieroglyphs, became a sanctuary for the divine beings. They learned the ways of Egyptian magic, drawing strength from the ancient land and its powerful deities. The rituals and symbols of Egypt infused them with new vigor, and they began to plot their return. And it was there, in the land of the pharaohs, that Hermes, the messenger god, devised a plan to free Zeus and defeat Typhon once and for all. Hermes, known for his wit and speed, became the linchpin of their strategy. Hermes, swift and cunning, infiltrated Typhon's lair, using his speed and guile to evade the monster's watchful gaze. His every step was calculated, every movement a testament to his divine agility. He found Zeus, weak but unbroken, and with a whispered word, reminded him of his power, his duty, and his unyielding will. The bond between the gods was unshakable, and Hermes' words rekindled the fire within Zeus. With a surge of divine energy, Zeus broke free from Typhon's shadowy bonds, his eyes blazing with renewed fury. The sky darkened, and a thunderstorm erupted, mirroring the god's wrath and determination. The final battle took place amidst the ruins of the world, the landscape scarred and broken by the Titans' clash. The earth trembled as the forces of good and evil collided in a cataclysmic showdown. This time Zeus was prepared. He had the support of his fellow Olympians, each ready to lend their strength to the cause. He fought with the fury of a storm unleashed, his thunderbolts splitting the sky, his every blow imbued with the combined might of the Olympians. The heavens roared with the sound of their battle, a testament to the power and resilience of the gods.